Welcome everybody to Astro Mondays. I'm going to be going live with Christopher Witecki of Sirius Joy. Let me just invite him onto the stage here. And guys, if you are going through or you can sense any energy that is happening in your life this day, this week, this last week, and we're going to be going over the days of the week this week so you can know what the forecast is, so you know what to expect. The first thing Chris likes to go over, though, is what people have been feeling. So share what you've been feeling and where you're coming from as well. And then we've got some context to go over with Chris. Monday, hi, good morning. Hi, Papa Ra. Yup, it's happening. And yeah, we also love comments and questions while Chris is going off on his galactic tangents. Sweden. How's the energy over in Sweden? How's the energy over where you guys are? North Carolina. Let me just see if I can. Sirius Joy's unable to join. How's dad life, Ra? It's beautiful in many ways. It feels like a portal into a new life. Much greater than I expected. Not that I was really attached to anything. And then there's the reverse polarity of having to sprint through everything that I do. There's no more relaxing, at least currently. Let's see. And Chris is here. I was just adding the caption. Sweden, intense. Hello from Argentina. Feeling excited. Just reading comments. Hey, Chris, how's it going?
It's going well. I just heard the fury of a young father.
Yeah.
There's no more relaxing.
There,
There's no more. Only the baby sleeps, not you.
yeah, it's like everything I do is an all-out sprint. Like all-out sprint.
Fortunately, you're so in shape. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
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 So, well, how is the baby?
Everything's good. Are you in Palm Springs?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
I'm in my
I haven't
backyard.
I haven't seen that bush behind you yet.
This is what we call the burning bush.
All right.
No, this is actually that's like a I think that's a for burns. You know that what is it? The plant for burns. It's a huge one. You can like cut that off but that plant there is probably about 10 years old too. That's how big it gets.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
It will cut you down too. It's so sharp, painful.
Oh, you're talking about that spiky one.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch out with the eyeballs around those things.
Oh, I know exactly. Yeah, put an eye out. It's dangerous. Yeah, absolutely
Yeah.
dangerous. So, yeah, it's interesting. How are things been feeling for you?
A little cloudy. Like I don't know exactly which direction to go. Let me just
Oh, and then he freezes on that moment.
I just put it on do not disturb, but that's
Oh,
yeah, I mean there's exciting energy, but there's also like this I feel a little like uncertain, unsure, ungrounded. That's me personally.
mm-hmm. Well, you're to give you some metaphysics here. You're in the high levels of Libra. This is beyond your Libra expertise. Your birthday
God.
was a while ago.
Oh, that's
So,
how it works. So as we go through the steps, I'm kind of like in
yes.
uncharted territory.
Yes, yes. I mean, so it's not assumed that you learn how to be a better Libra every year. That would only be upon your will, right? So let's say your birthday is on the 15th. Then everything from the 15th of the month to the end of Libra would be uncharted, unfamiliar, uncertain for everyone and everyone's birthday. The days after your birthday, you don't know jack about.
That's crazy. That's how I feel. It literally, I was thinking about it. I was just driving and I was like, what am I going to tell Chris? And I'm like, I have this like cloudy uncertain feeling, but I don't really know what it is. But yeah.
Well, I think we all have that though. I mean, what you're speaking to, the cloudy uncertain, I feel like that's a universal, global feeling that everyone's having. People maybe in the chat can tell us if they've been feeling that cloudy uncertain. I think that's because that we feel something's about to happen, and we're psychically becoming more aware that something's about to happen, and we don't know what it is, and we're kind of applying it into our life. But it's like one of those days. I mean, I'm doing it all the time. I'll like walk in the living room with a screwdriver and go, "Why am I in the living room and why am I holding a screwdriver?" I completely forget between the walk. I do feel that we feel something coming. One thing we feel coming is Scorpio. So, these are the last days of Libra here. We have a new moon tomorrow, and so to some degree, it's for you to define and make certain. Okay, tomorrow is a 28-degree new moon in Libra. 28 is the highest manifestation of you can have. So, any number that adds to a 10 means it will materialize in a physical form, it'll become material. Okay. In other words, you're going to see changes that make it so, right? Other times you don't always see changes. It's not always material. In fact, most of the time, 11 out of the 12 steps, 0 being a secret step, but 11 of the steps are not about material. They're immaterial. Only one step is material, step 10. So that said, 28 means that you must commit, step 8, to the feeling you want the future to be. Okay? Another way of looking at this is we are materializing a new relationship to the future. Now, this means this relationship to the future will not be changed until this time next year, where it can change again because everything cycles every month, right? So right now, you can decide that the future is good, and it will be. I know it's hard to believe, but you can do that. And that's not saying the world will be good. Only if the majority of the people decide on that future tomorrow will the world be good, right? Itself be good, not good as good and evil, but okay, right? But otherwise, your life will be just fine if you commit to feeling just fine tomorrow during the new moon. And that means committing to it means that you don't allow yourself to waver off that feeling, at least through the apex, but as much as you can. Now, I feel like it's a relationship to the future. It's not the future itself. Let's make that clear. So when I think of the future now, it's what it's always been for me, bright and good. I've never myself ever I was born with some sort of a supernova there in these high degrees of Libra. Actually, I was. It's Uranus. I have Uranus at 19, and so I have always felt 19 Libra. So I've always felt like there's only up. 19 is right before mastery. So I was born with this like nuclear power plant sitting right at 19, insisting that I'm going to make the future better. So I have a lot. Maybe that's why I'm a good leader for this. So this doesn't have so much problem for me. And I use my Uranus to figure out like new ways. But you're committing to the relationship to the future. So people who are always waiting for something bad to happen have a poor relationship to the future, right? Waiting for the shoe to drop, that's a poor relationship. Feeling like you're a victim and like they're never going to get ahead, that's a poor relationship to the future. You are relating to the future in a poor, negative manner. And so you are creating for yourself more poverty, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to us to make that change. Now, here's what's fascinating. This step 28 new moon that creates a new relationship to the future is the first of 6 consecutive step 28 new moons. 6. So that means this one is a new relationship to the future. Scorpio are new boundaries of the future, a new way of organizing life. Sagittarius is a new belief structure for the future. Capricorn is a new government for the future. Aquarius is a new age for the future. And then it ends in Pisces, a new spiritual story for the future. So go ahead.
So new moons are defining new ways of being, and because it's doing it in all these different signs, and it's in step 28. You said it's step 28 for the next
6 months. Yeah. So what that means is, and so in astrology, because there's not really 12 signs, there's actually 6 signs with polarities, right? So Aries is really Aries Libra, and Taurus is really Taurus Scorpio. And for that reason, whenever you have a new moon on one side, you have the Earth on the other. And so where the new moon is doing one thing, well, the new moon is creating something new, and the Earth is materializing something on the other side. So when you do 6 new moons, you end up getting the whole thing changed in 6 months, which is why the minimum amount of time to materialize or manifest something is 6 months.
Minimum.
Hmm. If you want to
And
manifest, if you want to like change your life, it's 6 months.
and today's a good day to make a choice then, to make a decision.
Today, yes. No, well, today we're taking action. So today is 27, step 27. And so step 27 is I feel and sense to do this. Okay. So we're being encouraged today through our feelings and our intuition to move in a direction in our relationships that obviously are for our better, right? And so, today's where you have to actually do something. Today's also a master day because it's an Aries ruled day in Libra. So Libra is being ruled by its opposite sign. And so as a result, this is a master day because if you have both sides covered, you're a master. If you're the same step number as the sign, you're a grandmaster. That's how that works. So it's a master day where you can master your life. This is actually the step number of our last vice president. If you don't know, she was a 27 Libra. She is one, 27 Libra. But just to give you an idea, if you've seen one in public, that's what one looks like. But they are Libras that are
So,
ass kickers. Yeah.
so step number of the same signs, do they end up looking like each other? I know that's a bizarre question.
Step numbers are the same signs. That's a good question, actually. That's something we'll have to research because we haven't done a lot of research on step numbers and way people look. But we did do something at Unite the Light one where we broke the whole damn thing into step numbers, and we had all the net twos go over here, and the net fours go over here, and the net fives. They all went to quarters, and we had them talk about things, and they all felt like they'd met their best friends and twins. And they were all different signs, mind you. It was like an Aries 27 with a Taurus 27, and they had a community like a community from just the step number. So we know that they feel like they're alike. And Sirius Joy is heading that direction with some of our community features, where you'll be able to in the future chat with other net nines. That time, whatever it might be, your particular net step, your step or net. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, a net, it would be like a net nine would also be like
18
18, yeah.
and 9. So 9, 18, and 27, we'll have like a chat room like club is what we're going to be building. So you can go there and you can just compare notes and see what's going on, and have news coming out from other net nines in the news.
And what's the benefit of interacting with other similar people to you?
I'm not crazy. It's the
Did his phone overheat again? What's up, everybody? I think you guys can hear me and not him. It's usually the case. Somebody look up the weather in Palm Springs because it's over 100 degrees. Then his phone usually overheats. May I ask some tips to navigate 29-degree Saturn in my fourth house, especially at this time? Reflection. And it's just me again. My son is 11-degree Virgo. Guys, I'm going to let my dog out because he's going nuts. Come on, Solar. All right. Let's see if I can get him back on. Let's see if I can get him back on. Invite. How to calculate your net number. It's warm in the desert. We are about 85. We hear you, Ra. Everything is good. My path to ascension fully. Chris, where are you at? All right, it's just me. I guess that's my role, right? To fill in the space, to know what to say in this circumstance. They have the ability on Human Garage to talk to same step people. It's seriously fantastic. Yeah. Gary has pictures in his phone about other people that are the same step number as him, and they look like Gary. I've actually met one of them. This woman came out to one of the houses we were at, and they're like his twin. So Gary's kind of collecting people that are the same step number as him. Have you heard or know anything about the NFI of the planet on October 30th? I do not know what's going on. Do not know what's going on. How do we calculate our step number? Guys, I'm asking somebody out there. I kind of know, but I know that there's little details that somebody out there in the comment section should answer that question, especially those of you who are going that are in the intro to step astrology course that Chris has been doing. All right, I'm inviting him back on.
All right.
Here you
So
are.
that was the iPhone overheating when in sunlight.
Yeah, I
In
knew that's what
sunlight.
it was.
You know
Yeah.
what, Dad? We didn't. You know, we have a person working here now. He's great. He's great, but he's learning all these things slowly. You know,
I
because
got a I got a little tripod. It's like for photographers with a little tiny umbrella. It's like a super tiny umbrella that fits right over the phone. I got it for rain and sun
oh,
when I film outside.
oh, that's nice. Yeah, it's already 200 here in Palm Springs, so it just takes
And
one
you're in a
extra degree.
suit. By the way, you've been in the suit the last few months, so it
Yep.
does look like an upgraded look.
It is. It is. It is the upgraded look. Thank you for noticing. Yeah. It's a new image, right? Preparing for what's about to come.
I'm in my human garage t-shirt like I'm supposed to be. Um
Yeah, totally. You're doing great. You guys.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens. I wonder if Gary will upgrade, or I don't know. You guys might have like little
Get
human
a little
garage
polo or something.
radiation suits or something. I don't know. Since your front lines, who knows what it'll
Yeah,
be? Well, yeah. I mean, I'm a CEO.
right.
So and yeah. I think it'll be a lot of talking. I think this next phase for me in my career is a lot of public talking. A lot. You know.
Good. It's your zone of genius.
Well, yeah. If no one says what we're saying, serious joy. No one's saying what we're saying. So we realize we're important, and I'm usually pretty good at it. So, yeah. So thus so look a little sharper. Trying to.
We're getting
Thanks.
questions, and I wanted you to answer it on how to
Sure.
figure out your step number.
Oh, okay. Well, the step number is actually the degree of the sun at the time of your birth. So if you know how to cast an astrology chart, and a free chart like astro.com or AstroSeek, I think is another one, they will run your chart for you based on your time of birth and your date of birth and the city and state of birth, and they'll tell you what degree the sun was in. If you join Sirius Joy for $3.99, we'll tell you what it is on your first pep talk. You go in the pep talk, we always have your step numbers right there. There's more than just the sun. There's 3 stories that we follow. The sign of your heart, what your heart's creating spiritually, what your heart's creating physically, which is called the B story or the rising sign, and then what your emotions. That your emotions have a step number also. Step number tells you how to respond to yourself, and that's what people don't know. That's what's missing in the dictionary of astrology. Classic astrology does not tell you how to respond to yourself. And we do. That's what we figured out. That's the big thing, because it's always like, okay, here's going to be your fate, and then the next question was, what do I do about it? And that's what step astrology tells you. It tells you what to do about it, and it's so formulaic. It's so formulaic. You cannot believe that God built this much math into the world. And right now I have a class called Intro to Step Astrology that I'm about to finish. But we go through from 0 to 11. We talk about every step and how they work, and some of the things that people don't even know in the public about step numbers, such as the fact that when you add step numbers together, they create a new state of awareness. So, step 2 is your feelings, and step 5 is your thoughts. But if you mix your thoughts and feelings together, then you have intuition, step 7. So the way to actually turn on your intuition like this is to be mindful of your feelings.
Does
So,
that
like,
work with all the step numbers?
yes. It's the step mathematics, and there's step algorithms too. I
Yeah.
know it sounds
We
crazy,
talked
but
about
when
the
you
algorithms like 521.
521 is exactly one, yeah, exactly, and 521 is the super 8. So 5 plus 2 plus 1 makes 8. So to make a super decision, you do the 5-2-1 method. First, you take your thoughts, then you take your feelings, then you take what your heart wants, and if you do it in that order, it will add to the best decision you've ever made in your life.
And what's step 8?
Step 8 is a decision, a commitment.
Okay. So that's
So
okay.
no one should get married without a 5-2-1 process. So, but other ways to find a decision would be listen to your heart and intuition. Heart's 1, intuition is 7. So heart and intuition will always lead to a good decision. Or you can open your heart. You can feel into the future with your heart open, 2 + 6, and that also makes a decision. See how it works? So anything that adds to an 8 makes a decision. But 5-2-1 is something people wouldn't think of, but it came to me through Spirit and the angels, the 5-2-1 method, which is, of course, now it's a little outside the norm. You wouldn't think about 3 numbers adding up to get 8. Usually, we talk about only 2. But so it's this is what's built into human life and consciousness. It's built into the matrix of human consciousness, and we discovered it. I discovered it. Talking to my angels and my guides, and also trying it out on people's charts in my readings. So I studied it for 5 years in my readings privately before I came to the public with it. Yeah, step 5 is when you think you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, it's really great. So yeah, find out, because you know what, knowing your step number will change your life, because it tells you how to function. So what's your step number exactly now? Watch. Yeah.
10. I'm a 19, so the net 10.
So 19 adds to 10. So like numerology, you add the 2 numbers together, right? And it adds to another number. So what happens is we live in the added number. So the added number is the number you live in. People only know the number at the top. So when I say, when I tell you that you are the 9 and a 1, it doesn't really resonate with you. But when I tell you you're a 10, you'd be more resonant with that. And so that's one of the reasons why step astrology is important, is because you have to understand that you have primary and secondary steps or consciousnesses that are actually adding the inside of you to create the most outer side of you. So we call the one it adds to the root intention. Whatever it adds to is your root intention in life. And you know what your root intention in life is? Abundance. Manifesting everything you want.
That's why I'm so attracted to manifestation and how it works and the science behind it. I'm super attracted to that, and experimenting with it and saying, like, if I close my business, am I still able to manifest the life that I like? My whole life has just been about experimenting with manifestation.
Yes. And the whole life has been about, we call a root intention. A root intention. That's the root intention that is built in you. And everything has root intentions in you. It's like a core program that has to be fulfilled. And actually, your root intentions are actually encoded in your body, in your DNA. So it's literally physical. That's what we've been told. Now, so to give you an example, the way to get to that 10, to that manifestation, what you do is you read the number backwards. So 19 is read backwards as 91, right? And so you read it backwards, and that tells you what to do. 9 is act on, 1 is the heart, self-love. So when you act on self-love, you will manifest. That's it. That's all you need to know to make millions. It's true. True. And what that comes down to is, in every moment that you have, you can say, okay, I've got to either going to run downtown to get some Pampers, or I'm going to run across the town to get the new bottles. What do I do? And you go, well, act on self-love. What's the self-love thing? The bottles is right by the arcade, right? So self-love is, I'm going to put myself near the cool thing first. That's the most loving thing to do. And so you do that, and then when you're at the arcade, so you can buy a lotto ticket, and boom, you're a millionaire. But it's not that fast. But it's like, you will see that whenever you choose the most loving thing in your life for you, you will keep gaining, and that gaining will create momentum, and so forth. So every person's step number has the formula to what their root intention is. So this teaches you how to manage yourself perfectly. I mean, perfectly. I'm not saying, I mean, perfectly. Getting straight A's in self-management, because everything in the moment has a formula, and that formula relates to a consciousness. And so, as long as you're following, and it's interpreted each time differently, So loving yourself the most time then is not the same as loving yourself the most when you're up at 3 a.m. doing a midnight feeding, overnight feeding, right?
And guys, I just want to say that if you are joining on Sirius Joy, you get these text messages. So Chris is saying some things to me, but you can get these same words to yourself
Oh yeah,
multiple times a day, like many times a day. Uh,
all the time.
yeah.
And let me just, well, since we're on the topic of plugging me, I'll say one thing. We're about to do the 40 days of truth and purpose. Okay. And what this is a 40-day program at Sirius Joy. You don't have to be a subscriber to actually take this program. You can actually just take it on its own. We do it a la carte. It's at SiriousJoy.academy. So that's our academy campus instead of our main campus. And what we did is I learned a long time ago that it's impossible for you to lie to yourself during Scorpio. Impossible. No person can lie to himself during Scorpio. Okay. What that means is when we're in Scorpio, which starts this week, okay, there's an extra energy in Scorpio that basically reveals whenever you lie. That's why Scorpios have lie detectors built into them. A Scorpio can tell when anyone's lying, and they're the best liars because they have that, right? They can lie upon will pretty easily, pretty convincingly. They can sort of block that vibration from the person so you don't know they're lying. And so I realized like, oh my God, if I built a class during that time that makes you figure out your like face your denial, holy crap, it's going to force everyone out of their denial. They'll just be forced out. And so we
Yeah.
did it. We built a program that was based on every day. So step 0, step 1, step 2. It's like basically you're on trial with yourself for 40 days. Basically. And we give you journal questions and we base it on your chart and we say, you know, true or false, true or false, true or false. And then what this leads to is your life purpose, which is the number one question I get in every reading. What's my life purpose? What's my life purpose? You know, and I was like, I need a program that does this because I cannot answer this enough. I just can't, I don't have enough time. And so this will leave you with your life purpose. And I'll tell you right now, whenever someone sees me in person, the number one thing they thank me for is truth and purpose. That's the number one thing they thank me for. It's the program that just turned out to be a hit. Total stroke of genius. And there's also angels there in the program too. We have an angel component to it. So to help you foster a close relationship to the angels so you can figure out like really know the truth of where the angels are talking to you. So we took advantage to find other truths in you, not just your purpose. And that starts this week. So if you go to SiriusJoy.academy and sign up, you can just do it day by day. It's very simple. You just answer the questions about yourself every day. It's about 20 minutes of work a day of just writing about yourself. And in 40 days, you'll know who you are and what your purpose is. And you'll know very well about your chart. I mean, it's a good way to learn intro to astrology too. We tell people, you want to learn how to read a chart? Take 40 days of truth and purpose. You'll learn a lot in that one time. Yeah. So anyways, thanks for the plug.
Yeah. No, that was good. It's good. It's helpful
Yeah.
too for people. We're still getting questions about the steps. So it's just the degree of the sun at your time of birth, period. And you just have to find a way to figure out where that is, whether it's at Sirius Joy, Sirius.joy, right?
SiriusJoy.com
.com.
is where our service is. And see, our whole service is based on the step system. So, you know, because the step changes every day, we have coaching for you on every day that's different, 365 days a year. We have different coaching based on the step number. And so that's why our coaching is so accurate too. When people listen to our pep talks in the morning, which is like a podcast every morning, people are blown away because they're so accurate because the step system it's just the way it is. It turns out that God does a lot of cheating. He just keeps repeating the numbers over and over again.
Cycles. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. So it's to see the clockwork of humans. I'll tell you, we're just talking about our meeting this morning that like, you know, we're preparing for this upcoming year and we're doing a lot of research on what's going to happen. And one thing we realized was that we're predicting that the Vatican will fall because there's going to be this thing that happens. Well, Neptune and Saturn are both in Aries. And so we went back in history. Every time Saturn and Neptune were in Aries, every time that happened, the Vatican fell.
It's
Parts
always
of the Vatican splits. I mean, basically whatever Christianity's capital was, right? So wherever, you know, so it was whenever Christianity divided in a different sects was during this Neptune Saturn because it is being critical Saturn about faith, Neptune.
so
So because
everyone does that, and then that puts pressure on the church.
well, the church has its own politics, but I think given some of the rumors I heard in the last few years, I don't think it'll survive this one. And the thing is like one thing, in all the other times that Saturn and Neptune were in Aries together, Neptune had a lead start. So in the first time it happened, Neptune had a lead start of 25 days, 25 step numbers. The next one, Neptune had a lead of 17 step numbers. The next one, Neptune had a lead of 9 step numbers, right? So Neptune has always been a little bit far ahead. In other words, the church has always been ahead of the auditor, Saturn. But this year, it only had a 21-day lead. So that means that, basically what's chasing after is going to catch it, Saturn.
How is
So
one more than 9?
what's that?
You said one of the years was not, or one of the times was like 9. 21 seems big, like a big gap, is what I'm asking.
Well, okay, we're talking about step numbers, and we're talking about the planet Neptune. So
Oh,
if
so it's really a
If Neptune
3.
has a 25 step lead, that means it's been in the sun for 6 years before Saturn enters, right? 6 to 8 years. So because Neptune moves slow. So we're talking about step numbers, right? Not days or years of the Earth. So Neptune, the first time, so you basically it shows the strength of the church. The church was really strong. It had a huge lead over everyone on Earth, and then it had less of a lead, and then it had less of a lead, and now it has no lead.
Right.
Right. So what that tells us is like, uh-oh, church is getting caught. The Saturn forces of criticism and basically, what's the word? Crime. I mean, Saturn is the crime planet. Is the planet that creates police stations. It's the planet that creates the law. It's the planet that puts you to jail. That's Saturn. All that is Saturn. Libra is the justice of whether you're guilty or innocent. But Saturn put that Libra in that chair. Right. Saturn energy. So the force of mankind that controls things is going to put control over where religion has gone too far. And too far is beyond the truth. So anyways, we feel that.
When is that happening?
What's that?
When is that happening?
Well, that's going to be unfolding. Well, it unfolds over the course of the next 3 years.
Okay.
So I think for instance, what you're going to find as a simple look at this is that with the people who are complaining and upset about the way the government's being run, is the government even at work today? I don't even know. But like with the way it's being run, these people are going to have less and less faith in what they've been told about faith, right? They're going to lose faith in the world. They're going to lose faith in God, right? But they're not losing faith in the world or God. They're losing faith in what the church told them about God.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
if you want to know about God, you should talk to God,
Right. Just go direct to
which is
yourself.
what I do. I mean, I talk to the company heaven every second, every day, all the time.
Right. Every
And
moment.
I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I tell you right now, you'll see if you ever get a reading with me or something, you'll see it happen. You'll see it's not a big deal, actually. It's not a big deal. You're supposed to talk to God all the time. You're supposed to talk to your higher self. And so it's really your higher self you talk to, and then your higher self turns around and asks God a question. That's really what it is. There's another version of you that you talk to, and then that version of you asks around the room, kind of thing. So, anyways, that what happened in our human history is that really Constantine, in Rome, decided to hijack it from Christianity, from Jesus and his disciples and what the stories were, and they created the Bible, where they put in the stuff they wanted and they kept the stuff they didn't want in there out, and that was the beginning of using spirituality to religion something, to religion the Rome. That's what religion is. And so since then, you have to separate the man Jesus from the people who
Makes
ran the
sense.
church after he was dead.
Right.
Not the same people, right? So, anyways, this is huge because this is probably the number one problem we have, as far as I can see. Is if I were to write a book about the worst thing of mankind, is that they don't know what heaven really is. That's the worst thing I can think of, because if you knew what heaven was, you wouldn't worry one day here. You wouldn't worry one day. I don't anymore, and I don't have that Christian, Christian Baptist reborn smile on my face. I'm calm and normal because I know how this. I know, and you may not believe that I know. That's fine. You do it for yourself and find out for yourself. I tell people, find out for yourself. You can see all the evidence that I've seen and experience all the things I've experienced. But there's no reason for us to be afraid anymore at all. There's no reason for us to be afraid of anything. There's no reason.
So I have to
Yeah.
ask, what is heaven? Since you're saying if you know.
Heaven is it's where we actually are right now. So Right now, you and I are in heaven, and we're asleep in a dream. So we actually are there. This is not. This is a very phenomenal dream, high resolution dream that we're in. A dream that has the ability. It's like a video game where you can put a piece of your personality, like a DNA of you, into the machine, and you put a piece of you, a DNA, spiritual DNA, which is a vibration. Spiritual DNA is a vibration. You put your vibration into this system, specifically into Gaia, which is another spirit. So there's a spirit up there that just stays in meditation all the time. Her name is Gaia, and so we put our energy into Gaia, and then Gaia creates this like wicked, kind of like a dream, which is sort of like taking ayahuasca. It's kind of like really what life is that we take ayahuasca over and over again in heaven, and we go on this
We're
trip.
experiencing this.
And what we is because we cannot see ourselves in heaven. We cannot see into ourselves in heaven. We cannot study ourselves in heaven, and so and also we know everything in heaven. We know everything, and so what we do is to learn about our nature. We go into a specific plot that we choose entirely. So everyone chose their life. Everyone chose their life. Everyone, and you chose almost every detail of it. By the way, you spend a long time choosing it because it's like going on a vacation. You choose every detail of everything you want, and then you turn it into your counselor up there, and they basically set it all up in the system so that you can experience it. Now, imagine if nothing bad ever happens to you. You never have anything bad. There's no such thing as pain. There's no such thing as sorrow. It's just always good. Everyone's just walking around heaven all the time with a big smile on their face. That's life in heaven. It's just all ha. Okay. So if you're gonna go to a theme park out of heaven, you're gonna be the guy that gets run over by a truck, aren't you? You're gonna
Yeah.
be stuff that's like very interesting because you're watching it on a screen. Basically, you're watching your dream state, and you don't even actually remember it when you wake up. They actually have like weird spiritual technology that can watch it. So after you come out of your life, you and all your friends go to study groups and you all watch each other's lives. That's what happens.
Like we do
And you
movies.
study each other. What's that?
The people that have a hard time comprehending why we would choose chaos and dynamic situations that may be painful. I mean, just look at what we do when we watch a movie. We're not watching movies of people being happy and in bliss and everything perfect. We're watching movies of drama unfolding and threats and chaos and murder and rape, and all of that are what exactly what you're saying is why we are choosing the lives that we are down here so that we can experience that.
Right. It's like I wonder what my being would do if I was living in a country where an insane, a lunatic took over. What would I do? And so what would I do with my family? What would I do with these situations? How would I react? Would I be good? What if they offered me to be bad too? Would I be bad? Oh shit! I hope I won't. I hope I'm not bad. So we don't know. It doesn't exist. So, and then not only that, but we erase the idea that we know everything. So right before you go into this sleep state in heaven, you basically sign a contract through the idea of drinking a potion, which believe it or not, you're like, what? Why would you? You can't drink up there. You're light. You're ball light. Yeah, we know this, but we've all been on Earth, so we know what it looks like, and so we pretend to do up there that we're drinking. It's really weird. But like we pretend we're drinking, and so we do the sign that we're drinking when we're really not, because we can't drink anything up there, and so that represents like a self hypnosis to the spirit that says, okay, forget you know anything, and so we actually do an amnesia prayer where we go into full amnesia and we forget who we are and everything, and we're told that we're this person,
So
and
there's
then boom, we're in the
ceremony.
dream. It's a ceremony. Yes. And everyone says goodbye to you. And
It's
so
like a
when you're,
pretend ceremony.
it's a pretend ceremony. Yes, because everyone's flying around as a ball of light.
Right.
They really are. And some are tiny little gnats, and those are young souls. And some are bright, big balls of light, and those are old souls. So the only difference you can tell on the outside of a soul is how big the light is. That tells you how old they are. That's our natural state. That's who we are. We're balls of light.
Mm-hmm.
And angels are balls of fiery light. And other beings are different things besides light from out of here, like plasma and other things. But nonetheless, so that said, none of this is real. None of this will matter. No pain will follow you, and you live for eternity. You will never cease to exist ever. Never. and all the pain will be erased from your memories when you go back up. So when you go back up, they erase all the pain from Earth. Make sure it's not in you. They give you a heavenly cleanse, a shower. You go through this like detox process where you're like, so none of the Earth's crap can come into heaven. They're real picky about that. And so, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad that I asked you what heaven was, because that was an awesome experience.
Was it good? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Did it resonate and feel correct?
Yes.
And
Yes.
I'm only saying that because that's how you tell what truth is. If you're told something untrue, your body will tell you it's not true. It will tell you every time it's not true. Every time they'll tell you it's not true. And I go into how that works actually in my STEP program, in my STEP class. But so, it's time. This leads to a really important point that I think is the most important point there is. We're about to go into what the Palladians call a frequency war. Okay? A frequency war. A frequency war is sort of like a battle of the bands that's happening in the same like high school football field. Okay? Except that high school football field is the Earth. All right? So we're all going to be in the stadium called the Earth. And each band is going to try to outplay each other at the same time. And they're going to get louder and louder and louder and louder for the next 18 months. Okay? And this is all the things that they're going to be throwing at you. All right? Trying to get you to join their band. And so the light workers have only two choices, really. Either make some goddamn heavenly music or be quiet and let them win. Right? Or shout over them. I mean, there's not much. So it's a very loud, it's an attempt to hostile take over the Earth. It's the final hostile takeover. Now, people think it's going to be, wars and guns, and no, it's going to be so many things happening at once. The average human does not know how to handle it. Okay, if anything's dangerous, it's going to be suicide rates, things like that. Right? Because it's just too much. Now, you could turn off the news and not even be affected.
Right.
You could. It's still going to affect you in your hometown. Already, we're seeing effects of people like, being laid, this government shutdown. So there will be hard effects from people flipping out, or people, organizations can't take it anymore, so they pull out. Advertisers can't take it anymore, so they pull out. So there will be a lot of financial stuff that happens, but not a total financial anything. Nothing total of anything, but enough for you to make it look like the world's ending. I mean, you could interpret it that way and not have a hard time believing it. That's why I'm bringing up the point. You've got to be able to know when you're being lied to now, or it's going to be a lot more painful for you on Earth. Because if you can't be the one to say bullshit and feel inside yourself, you can be stuck in your mind up all night freaking out. That's a problem, right? And yes, you'll trust crystal techies, perhaps, but I bet I know maybe I'll be wrong about it. What if I have a bad day? I don't, what if it's like you can't rely on me. I'm here to teach you. I'm here to teach you, so when I'm not around, or if the internet goes fucking off or something. I mean, who knows? But I'll tell you this: the energy that wants this is their last stand. Who's they? There's a group of souls that have always wanted to take over the Earth. It's the best real estate in the fucking solar system. It's the best. Talk about real estate grabs like Malibu and the Palisades, or Hawaii. Those are land grabs, by the way, those fires. This is a fire to win the whole fucking Earth. The whole Earth. And they've been wanting that for the whole time anyways. What people don't know is the Great Flood was the angels actually trying to kill all of them at the same time.
To start over.
The Earth is so infested with these beings that they sent a comet right into the ocean, and they flooded the Earth, and they told Noah, we're going to do this, and they brought all the living humans underground, and they flooded the Earth, and it took so long for the Earth to water, the water to come down, all this stuff, because that was the only way they can think of killing all the damn false aliens around the Earth at the same time.
Talking about like the
The
half,
lizards.
yeah, half breeds.
Yeah, which we have DNA of, by the way.
Yeah.
We have that, yeah, because human race is actually a hybrid of all 12 alien races in one body. That's why we're so special.
Yeah.
A lot of interesting stuff.
Experiment.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I'm going to start going to social media and telling some of these stories. because I'm convinced of them. I have nothing to gain. I'm not going to make money off these stories. Serious Joy won't be able to, the SEP system will help you, but kind of, it's like these are just things that in my position, I have the ability to talk to the best psychics in the world, the best empaths in the world. Like I talk to some of the most amazing people who are plugged in legitimately. And so I'm a guy that likes to put together the story. Like I want to, what's the story? Like I'm always like a reporter. I'm trying to figure out the story. I've been obsessed with Earth story. I've been obsessed with Atlantis. These are all my private, excuse me, my private study things, right? But at a point now, I'm like, y'all need to hear what I have heard, like because it's it fits together and it's pretty fascinating. It's fascinating, and when you hear it, you'll know exactly what's. Once you hear the whole story, which you heard a lot of it just now, and you look at what's going on, you'll start to see through all of it because you're looking at it from the perspective of what you've been told,
Mm-hmm.
right? And you believed it, what you were told. You didn't check your gut. When we were starting to be told this, we're in the dark ages. That means that our psychic awareness and everything got really crunched down, like the energy crunched. And so think of it like right now, think of it, excuse me, my throat. Think of it as if like all of a sudden the atmosphere was so thick that you couldn't use a cop, a cop couldn't use a CB radio because it's just too thick. The waves couldn't get through the air. That's the way it was with psychic awareness. We could not get the psychic waves through the air during the cold age, during the dark ages. And so nobody could call bullshit. Nobody could like read a liar. Nobody could feel that they're about to be killed. We had no extrasensory perception. Our sixth sense was closed down. So during that time, they lied to us and they got away with it. And they wrote books called the Bible and stuff like that. And they said this is the way it is. And so we were like, oh, I guess it is, you
Right.
know? And so we've been under that fucking hoodwink this whole time. And that's why, you've seen an increase of like, that's why you see everything. Increase in the surveillance system of governments, increase of technology to control people. They know that our psychic awareness is coming online. They know they're running out of time before we see everything. That's why we're told to not trust our feelings because our feelings know. That's why we're called crazy for saying stuff like this on the air because we've been told to do this. Oh, it's a conspiracy theory. Everything is like to protect their lives. In fact, I don't know if I've said this lately, but I figured out why they don't let aliens, they're not telling us about aliens. It's because the aliens are going to totally call our government out.
Yeah.
They're like, we gave healing technology in 1949 and you seem to be sick still. Why is that? We told the government they can have it for free. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be shit like that. They're not gonna be allowed to talk at the podium because the aliens are gonna talk about what they've done to help us the whole time. They're gonna. And by the way, here's the other thing that's amazing. Nothing will happen to the Earth. The aliens will come in and they will help. They will save us. You know why? Because we're 1/12 of them.
Yeah. So when it comes to nuclear war and anything like that, we're protected.
The Palladians told me that no nuclear bomb works. It's the darkest secret that every government knows.
Yeah.
They already,
They
they
all know.
already, they told me that they've already disarmed every nuclear bomb, every one.
There's even like recorded, like this is public information to a degree.
You can actually get little snippets of this, and on cheesy Fox shows and stuff like that, and people are like that, Steve, that's full of shit. No, if you
They're
turn the
generals of our military saying that
yes,
UFOs hover over their nuclear warheads and turn them off.
ruin them,
Yeah.
like ruin them to where they have to be rebuilt. And so the aliens are like, we can just do this all day long. Like it's like because the reason why they have the right to is because they actually create like time portal bombs into their it breaks space time and fucks with their planets.
Right. Their
And
dimension.
so by intergalactic law, they have the right to interfere.
Yeah.
And so they do. And yeah. And so they do. So they'll interfere whenever they have to. They said that to me in this conversation, which I wonder if I don't know if I could publish it, but because it was under a lot of secret stuff, but I did record it. And they said that the governments have run out of their deadlines. That they had until next year to tell the people that they exist. It was a 50-year deadline they had to tell the people that they exist, and so they gave the governments 50 years to tell us. And so the governments have been saying shit like, "Oh, we're putting in our movies, we're doing it, we're doing it, we're doing it." And but now the players are like, "Come on," it's like a kid is like, "Hamster ate my homework." Like we're doing the stupid stuff, we're not doing it. We should have known by now, really. I mean, we're ready to. Everyone, ET is so friendly and Han Solo is so cool. Like we're ready for it. You know what I mean? But like, and clearly the players are like, they're clearly not going to do it, and we're going to have to force land. And I was like, force land? Well, won't they shoot you down? And she laughed. And my joke, she laughed like I told her a joke. So don't believe everything you see in the movies, darling.
Right.
Kind of thing. Like they're just like whatever, like whatever. So anyways, we don't have alien lords. There are bad aliens, but they're not around our galaxy anymore. It's too policed by the good aliens. They said it's after the flood, they've been guarding the Earth the whole time. So we're pretty much locked as because we are very unique. We're the only species in the universe that has all the DNA of all the species. Very
Well, this has
gifted.
been fascinating. Can we do a quick breakdown of this week?
You bet. Absolutely.
Like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday sort of feel?
You
Oh,
bet.
what are those?
What's that?
Is this the change of look?
Oh, change the look. Let's see here. So we're on 27 today. So today you ought to have a new. I mean, you ought to over the weekend look for like a new perspective on life. Okay, that you might have had, and this new perspective, it's just a new approach to maybe an old problem. It could be like a new approach to one old problem. Like you know what, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm going to do this. Just it could be one problem you found a new perspective to. It could be that you had like, you took acid and you just like saw God and you have a whole nother, like a whole new belief structure about reality, right? It could be one of the two. But whatever that was, test it today and try it. Try it today. Try it. Try it out in whatever way you can try it. You
No, I can't. The sun shifted. I mean, I'm not even in Palm Springs and my back is burning up because I'm against this window. I usually have my hair down and that protects me from the sun, but I don't think. Why did my light go off? I don't think he has that. Let's wait and see if he comes back on because this part of the show is pretty nice. We talk about what's going on in the week. I'm gonna cool off my back for a little bit. You guys know there's melanin in the hair? It's a giant antennas. Okay, we're waiting for him, everybody. We are waiting for him. Let me do a force invite here. See if he gets that. He's frozen looking like a spider. Happy belated birthday. Thank you. Really, melanin? Yeah, there's melanin in our skin, our hair, and our eyes. And that melanin goes, and mela means dark. So that's melanin. And there's eumelanin and pheomelanin. There's the two kinds of melanin on our body. So like pheomelanin would be like the lips and very, very light melanin. And then eumelanin is the darker stuff in our hair. And the purpose of melanin, there's also neuromelanin. So neuromelanin is inside the body. So melanin isn't this protective barrier outside of our body. It's actually, there's a purpose. And when you look to technology, there's a new section of technology where they use melanin. And the job of melanin in the technology is to transmit electrons, to transmit electricity. And so when you look at the difference between a photon and an electron, the only difference is that a photon doesn't have mass. And so mass, here he is. I was just going on about something. Anyways, melanin takes light and transfers it through the body into the pineal gland, where then it releases melatonin and then it recalibrates you when you go to sleep. All right, we're back. I was,
Hey buddy, yep. That was another iPhone overheat.
yeah.
So y'all Yeah, it's not that hot out here. It's the sun.
It's
It's
the
really
sun.
bad.
It's baking my back right now more than usual. So something's going on with the light. It's strong.
Well, the sun is actually like starting to rev stuff up too. Like it's going up a lot of solar cycle stuff. This is a whole orchestra. This whole next thing. It's going to be really intense. Um, so we were on. So I was saying that you probably have a new philosophy of life come up over the weekend, like some philosophy of life, and sometimes it's very subtle. But I know every one of you had it. I know because I've studied this for a while now, and I'm always amazed. Sometimes I have to sit down and talk to someone for a while. Did you have one?
A new awareness
Oh,
of,
a new philosophy, like maybe I should do it this way.
yeah, yeah. It's, I mean, I just 3 weeks ago had my first baby. So it seems relatively normal for me to be going through this. But definitely a lot of different things have been changing and directions. But like I said, there's this cloudiness to it all. It's
Yes,
confusing to me.
the cloudiness is between worlds. That's really what it is. We're kind of half in and half out for some of us who are ascending, and the others are descending. So people are being pulled in. You know, they're just letting it get to them more and get it some more and get some more, and they're going down this rabbit hole. And so that's their choice. And if you don't understand it's your choice, don't worry. You'll wake up in heaven, and you realize it was just a dream.
Right.
So you know. That said, we have so it's just by the way. When it comes to Earth, it's like it's so brilliant. I mean, I feel so fortunate to kind of see how God does it, and I mean, I can't even sit down in 10 weeks and tell you how complicated and brilliant it is. But like, your child is like going to be like maybe why you're in a fuzz, and my business is why I'm in a fuzz. And it's like everyone has a different reason why. That's what's brilliant about Sirius Earth, is that it's hidden so well because everyone has it in a different thing.
Yeah. You can explain it logically to yourself to to make it fit into the narrative that it isn't magical and it isn't a dream because it makes sense here.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And the thing is, because it's happening in different places, the whole Earth is going through the same thing at the same time. Okay, but everyone thinks it's coming from a different place, and so that's how they disguise it. So it's coming from a different place for everybody. And so, like, oh, I was doing divorce. Well, no, as you understand, it's really about this. The essence of it. It's just played itself in the divorce, or played itself in the death of your parent, or it just played itself in that. Those are the causes. Everyone has a cause that does it, because the cause is based on what's meaningful to you, right? But anyways, so you should have had some sort of an alternative theory about what you're going to do. In my case, it's really funny. It's not an alternative theory. It's okay. Let's go ahead and move on now. So I'm actually on the same theory. Not that I'm better, but I'm definitely part of the architecture of this. Like I was let in on how this works, I think, earlier. So I don't think I was able to trick myself and not know that I don't know. And that's part of my good readings is I know. And it's taken me a long time. So I know what the next phase is. So for me, it's like, okay, next phase, time for next phase, because I knew that phase would come. But everyone else does. It was the idea this weekend. You know what I mean? Like, but the point is, whatever that was, you got to do it today. You got to take a step today. One step that symbolizes that you understand, and one step that puts something on the line. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and risk $40 and see if if I'm right. Like, it has to be a subtle little risk. Okay, if there's not a risk, you're not putting any value into it. Okay, if you don't put any value into it, God thinks you're full of shit. You're just fitting. The Earth thinks you're full of it, and it thinks you're just what's the word when you bluffing, right? So you can't bluff. You can't go with anything. But everything you're doing, every thought you're thinking is being recorded, by the way. So everything you've done, we're all going to watch with you in class when we get back to school. Okay, so that's the reason why people don't want to do certain things, because they don't want to be seen doing them. Like, yeah, I can't wait to see that class. Now that said, do something today. Then tomorrow, you want to step 28 new moon. So tomorrow on Wednesday, no Tuesday, you want to feel the feeling that you want to feel in the new relationship to the world. So if you want to think about it, it's like if you wake up outside, you wake up and you go outside in the morning, and it's beautiful weather, and you get this feeling every morning when you walk out in your backyard. What's that feeling you want to feel when you wake up in the morning, and you're like, oh my God, life is this, right? What's that feeling? That feeling is your fate. That's what you're going to end up living, okay? If you really have to have that feeling. And if you resurrect that feeling on every new moon for the next 6 months, you will have a life that's that feeling forever, okay? Pretty much forever, all right? And that's a hard thing to believe too, because in our lives, we've never had anything stay long very well. I mean, anything good has never stayed long. And anything good has always fallen away. That's because we were reviewing our past lives. It wasn't because we were living fresh new stuff. And so we've been doing only past life stuff our whole lifetimes, okay? We've never had new stuff since Atlantis. Not really totally new. So once we get past we're in the last leg now. This is what the new age is. This is what the whole new thing is. And this tomorrow we start the transition to the new era. Like, this is it. You're on your way to 5D, kid. This is it. Okay? By the way, 5D is right here on Earth. You will not see anything different except life will be fucking amazing where it used to suck. Right? It's 5D is a joy in your heart. It's a joy that's always on. It's a serious joy. That's what it is. It's like serious. I'm seriously joyful. And when you're seriously joyful, you're not even jumping up and down gleeful, like gleeing. You're like, I've had moments of serious joy where you're just like, this could not be any better. Like, it's just so matter of fact. Okay. In fact, God only speaks in calm voices, by the way. So that's something you should know. If you get really excited, something's off. And what may be off is that you're not ready for it yet, or there's something you have to get past to get there. So you're not really excited. You're nervous about the test. I mean, stay up at night, like can't go to bed. That there's something in there that has to still be fixed. Because when you are truly in the know of your joy, you are just calm and centered and grounded and awake. That's how you are. The same thing happens when bad news comes to you. You'll find out if anyone's had bad news, like so-and-so's passed away, so-and-so happened. When that bad news happens, when you hear it, you don't freak out and get sad. You have this calm in you that listens to it completely. It's later, when you're reflecting on it. In the moment of truth, there is no emotion that overwhelms you. So if you have emotion overwhelming you, something's not true about what you're hearing. Something. Maybe a piece, maybe all of it. The more extreme the emotion, the more extreme off it is. That's why the emotion is extreme. It's really off. It's your emotions screaming at you. Okay? This is important. These are like little life signs, because once we get into the game, that's what I call this, the game. Once the game begins, who knows? I have no idea. I can't promise anything. We all of us can't promise anything. We don't know. So come tomorrow, you pull up that feeling and you feel it, let it go. 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 It's like calisthenics. Turn it on, let it go. Turn it on, let it go. Turn it on. Just keep it'd be like if you're the moment on your surprise birthday party, they're like, surprise! And that feeling you have, like, oh my God, me, really? You like that feeling, like memorize it, pull it back up, put it away. Memorize it, pull it back up, put it away. Pull it back up, put it away. Over and over as much as you can tomorrow. That's the memorization of the vibration. You're memorizing the vibration. And you can only memorize it by feeling it over and over and over again. And you only be able to, when you call up the feeling, you only feel it for like a fraction of a second, like 2 seconds, 3 seconds, it goes away again, okay? Because feelings are designed to go away. They're designed to erase. They're like Snapchats. They are only something that you might see it for a second, it's gonna dissolve every time. Because it burns itself up. The energy burns itself up to deliver the message. So the reason why people have cancer and stuff is because they haven't burned all their messages. And now the messages are burning them, right? All right, so tomorrow, hold it, feel it. The following day is kind of like, I don't know how to describe it. It's a step 29 day. It's where everything will be tested. They're going to turn the volume up of the lesson all the way to 10, okay? This is how it's programmed in the system. So turning it up to 10 is like turning probability up. What's the probability of a golf ball, falling from an airplane and hitting your grill? Tomorrow, bigger. Okay, like all probability goes up. And what that does is it reveals the parts of you that aren't well practiced enough. Okay, so it's a tested day. Now, for people like Gary who are 29s, it's a day where they will grow tremendously in one day. So Gary will put starting tomorrow, Gary's going to start putting shit together like, oh my God, dude. And then by 0, he's like, dude, right? Because it's a new like processing for you. So people who are geared to 29, who deal with that energy all the day, every day of their life, on a 29 day, they see, they see God. They have like a, boardroom with God. Like they see the matrix. The rest of us see everything that's not ready yet. And you should know nothing bad will happen on the test. It's just to reveal what you're not good at yet. It doesn't count towards your grade. So it's like it says, like, you flunked, but don't worry, we're not going to count towards your grade. It's just to show you this is how much you don't know yet. You better keep practicing, right? That's going to be on Wednesday, hump day. Then Thursday, 0 degree Scorpio. The first day of past lives, the first day of truth and purpose begins. Step 0. This is where we go. Okay, I'm drawing a new life. And that's what we begin the new life. This is the ribbon cutting ceremony, the first shovel of dirt. This 0 is it. That's it. And this is it. This is 0. This is the final 0. When I say 0, I mean everyone will be forced to draw the 0, and they'll have their lot picked out, whether they're aware of it or not. So there's no going back. So the more aware you are of what's actually happening, the better you build your little, the little pig builds their house, right? Like, so if you're really aware, you watch this show. I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna stop making these disclaimers that I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not. I don't give a fuck. Like, I really don't. But like at the end of the day, I've learned that if you miss something, it still happens without you. It just happens with as much as you knew at that time. So it's like if you are unaware of a 0, you built your house out of straw. I'm sorry. And so that means you're gonna have to build all sorts of stuff to support that straw in a storm. If you're real aware, you'll build your house out of brick. You'll build a foundation out of brick. And so for every step, every brick of your new life will be laid in this Scorpio. Every new brick. So your new life will be defined by Thanksgiving. Defined. Now, can you change it? Yes, but you'll be building other shit like the second and third floor of the house. So it's hard to actually pull up the bricks of the foundation when you're building the third floor. So you can change the foundation, but you're gonna have to work triple time if you wait that long to do it. It'll be much harder. And no one on the planet will be doing that phase. They'll be like, I did that last year, 2 years ago. You're like, but that doesn't help me now. Exactly, it doesn't help you now. So, and we're talking about it'll take 11 years for the whole thing to be built, the new life. 11 steps. Yeah, so it'll take 11 years. It'll take 11 years till it's built. So what's that, from
So you're
2025?
starting on Wednesday.
Yeah, so till 2036 it'll take to be built, yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah, 2036. Now, remember, step 10 is when you see it, so 2035 is when it'll actually be done. 2034 is when you'll actually be excited it's happening finally. 2033. 2033 is when you know everything's gonna be okay. Step 8. So from now to 2033, it's gonna be totally building a new world.
It's 8 years of commitment.
11. It's
Right.
11. It's really 12, because I have to actually ask Spirit if what's true. I'll come back to them. I have to ask: Is 0? Have we been in 0 the whole time? No, they're saying no. No, we're starting 0. It's 12 years. It's 12 years because it's really 11 plus a secret 0. So we draw the circle. We lay down the boundary for the next year, from this Thanksgiving to the next Thanksgiving. No, from this Halloween, this Scorpio to the next Scorpio. We're drawing the line. And you fucking people, you're no. So we'll be drawing lines. This is gonna be no, you're not doing this. This is we're just gonna be drawing lines for a whole year. And and then the following year, it's like then you fight the war. Some people cross lines and whatever. You dare to do what they told you not to do. So step 0 is on Thursday, and then on Friday is step 1. I love. Now this is the second most important step of the week, because if you don't put love into the first step of your next life, it will be a loveless life. Right? It will be loveless.
Right. Yeah, it's foundation.
You have to and it's a foundation. So it's the foundation of self-love. And so if you don't do that, and you're like, oh, I'll start at step 2. Okay, that means your love can move around. That means your love can move around, and it can slip through here and slip through there. So you have to. So what does that mean? That means on Friday, I want everyone to go out and love themselves like crazy. Love yourself like crazy. And yes, you can buy yourself things, but that's a cheap gift. No matter how much you spend, it's a cheap gift. You know why? You didn't make it. If you don't create yourself, it's a cheap gift. Because you're a creator, goddammit. You are a creator. So for you to go to someone else like Sony and, Macy's to buy your gifts, not me, So creating something means like, I'm going to create this wonderful dinner for me and our family. That counts, you know? Remember who we are. We're creators. We're God's children. Yeah. So that's all I have to say. That's
All right.
I don't want to drown people. Right now we're a little over because of the heat, the overheat. Sorry, guys, but write to Apple. Tell them that you're pissed.
Yeah. Well, that was crazy, amazing show. We went into it. Yeah, we went into heaven a little bit. That was a cool part. Yeah. So guys, we're here every week, and then find Chris on his channels as well, Sirius Joy TV and Christopher Witecki on Instagram, and then you can find Sirius Joy on YouTube and SiriousJoy.com as well. Anything else to add, Chris?
I'm just gonna tell you something kind of fun for you, and that is one of my diamond clients. Okay, these are clients I'm helping them manifest miracles, like the miracle level kind of stuff. And so they very involved. She would like to she lives like out in the middle of the country somewhere. Okay. Lives on a farm. She drove to like one of her farm things, like some like committee, or like Farmers Wives of America, some farm thing. She walks in and they're talking about us.
Us.
Yeah, our show, this one. And she's like, what? She had like a mind like, what the fuck? And she goes, oh, there's this delightful show. It's called Astro Mondays with Ra and Chris. And they're all telling her, and she's like, I know. I happen to know Chris, but she doesn't tell them that at first. She just listens. And they're talking about how it's such a wonderful show, and it inspires them. And Ra is so wise, and Chris is so wise, and they're just talking down to earth, and they're just, they're so just matter of fact about it, and then they just love this show on Instagram. I was like,
That's
wow,
awesome.
I'm gonna tell Ra that, like, wow,
Going
that's crazy.
mainstream.
I guess so. Well, what is Maine, anyways? Is Maine NBC, or is Maine like Instagram 12 noon? And who knows? It's Maine is whatever you make your main life to be, right?
Yeah.
So
Up to us to decide.
yeah, it's cool. I think I'll she said I could show you her telling the story like on video, so I'll show you the video. I'm not gonna go public with everything, but just so you can kind of hear it all. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
It's really crazy.
Awesome.
It blows your mind. Yeah.
Cool.
So everyone have a good week. Draw your space. Don't forget to love yourself on Friday so you aren't in a loveless world in the future.
All right. You're amazing, Chris. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone. Ciao for now.